Popular trucking question on the interwebs. What does a truck dispatcher do? As far as I'm concerned, there's only two types of freight dispatchers. I'll get into both of them, see which one you are or see which one you want to be. All right, you got logistics coordinators and actual dispatchers that book freight for the truck. Let's get into both of them. All right, logistics coordinator is more of a person that kind of like just dispatches drivers, like sends them all the info, gets like the paperwork for the loads ready, checks up on drivers, just kind of does like entry level basic stuff in trucking. So it's like usually people with not much experience in dispatching, or they work for like a big company where they actually need like load coordinators to coordinate everything with the trucks. Like I said, giving info to the drivers, etc. So that's kind of a load coordinator job title. Okay, then you get into like a freight dispatcher, like a freight booker. It's actually like a dispatcher that goes out there, posts their truck where they're available, has connections with brokers, has steady accounts. Like obviously like experienced ones, but those are the good ones. So like a freight dispatcher, freight like booker, like is actually the person that gets the freight for the trucks, and that's where you're gonna make most of your money at in trucking. So if you're a good dispatcher, you got connections in the industry, you have steady lanes, even if you have customers, that give you loads constantly directly, then that's when you get the big money and you become like a good dispatcher. So that's the two differences between a coordinator and an actual freight dispatcher. So the freight dispatcher will be the one that gets all the freight, and then the coordinator will be the one that helps them out, gets the driver's dispatch, sends the information and stuff like that. So if you're looking to get an industry, just to get some experience under your belt, maybe it's not a bad idea to start as a freight coordinator, like a logistics coordinator. But if you want to make the better money, definitely go with the freight dispatcher, the person that gets the freight, because that's where you're going to have more upside, more potential to make more money. Because the better you are, the more invaluable you are, and then the more companies are willing to pay you for covering the trucks, because you're making the money for the trucks. I mean, besides being like a direct, like a freight broker customer rep, that's probably the second best position to be in to make the most money in trucking is becoming a good experienced freight dispatcher.